receiver's an art form.
Yeah.
No one doesn't. You do it different. This goes back to the same conversation.
Yeah.
It's like, there's Picasso, name another artist.
Matisse,
Michelangelo,
Monet.
Donatello, Raphael.
Those are
Ninja
Turtles.
They're artists. That's all I can think of.
Da Vinci.
Yeah, there it is. So like, there's all these different ways to do it,
Yeah.
right? And so I'm like, I don't want to get stuck just knowing one way. I want to have some other stuff I can do, and force me to kind of go and learn from people. I remember before my second year, so before the 2018 season, it's Friday before we report on Tuesday for training camp, and I'm with Curtis Conway.
Yeah. Who's that? The receiver?
Yeah,
From what team?
Bears. So
What year? Yeah, I think.
So. The point, I'm with Conway, and I show up on Friday. I'm like, he's gonna take me through some drills. I just want to get perspective. I want to see someone else take me through stuff. A lot of times I go with someone, and I might spend a few days working out with someone, and be like, I grabbed one thing that I want to like take with me. Right? Sometimes there's nothing. Sometimes like, man, there's just a treasure trove of stuff that I want to use here. Yeah, there with Curtis Conway, and we ran a curl route for an hour straight. An hour straight of a curl route 3 days before training camp. My toes were I pulled my cleats off, toes bloodied. Gone.
Every year.
Yeah, gone.
Ugh.
So you go, but I wanted to go hear from someone. I want to hear someone different. And
what was his technique? How was it different? Was he attack the leverage guy, or was he just go straight up in the back of the quarterback?
We did more attack the leverage stuff in terms of like the stems and things like that. But I don't even remember if it was from him that I like pulled this, but it was kind of a beginning of this idea of like, as a receiver, I never want to think of myself as slowing down. I want to decelerate, right? I want to always be thinking I'm accelerating. So even when I get to the top of a route, I want to accelerate down into the ground, right? Like one of the best stoppers in the world? A javelin, right? Javelin comes down, bing, stops, right? So I want to be like a javelin where I'm running, and I want that angle. I want to accelerate down at 45, and when I'm accelerating, put my foot down, you know what Newton says?
Energy, potential.
Yes. He also says every force has an equal and opposite reaction, right? So if I accelerate down into the ground, right, the ground's going to stop me, push back against me.
Got to go somewhere.
And now as a DB, you see me accelerating, but I'm accelerating down towards the ground, and you're backing up, right? But I'm stopping.
Yeah. But you have to have your technique in, right? In your body, your
all
angles.
that stuff. Oh, there's so much. I'm saying like there running curls for an hour, getting my feet bloodied. Like I probably didn't grab a whole lot of stuff from it, but it was like the beginning of this thought, like, man, how do I want to stop?
You're running indie drills and like everybody's getting ready to line up, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna make my way to the front right behind Coop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make my way to the front to be number 2, just so I can watch him go, watch his whole rep, watch how he like doing everything, whether it's routes on air, it was the cone drills, or he were going up in one-on-ones, like. Yeah, and then when I got to go and the reps with him, I'm like, all right, Coop, like, hey, we got this. So like we're lined up 2 by 2, and we're in a stack, and it's me and Coop would be like, all right, what are you about to do right here? I'm like, and he'd be like, oh, I think I'm about to get inside leverage, and then I'm gonna work him. I'm a cross face, and then I'm a 1-2 at the top, and be like, all right. And as we're going out, like we're still kind of talking, and be like, oh, and then you watch him do exactly what he said was gonna happen, and be like, holy cow, like this is how football should feel. Like, man, there's a different type of feeling when you get to go and watch somebody, because they're giving all these cues that, man, you're like, oh, I have my corner route right here. I'm gonna find a way, and he's like, all right, no, it's gonna look like this. He's gonna roll down. He's gonna play outside leverage. I'm gonna get to his inside shoulder. I'm a 1-2 him at the top, and I'm gonna win. And then he would go 1-2 him at the top, and he would win. And be like, damn, Coop.
Yeah.
You just in the moment. I'm looking at the side I'm reading my side of the field. I don't got time to try to scan the whole field.
What's the play?
It was like a sticky pump, and I'm looking at the backer.
So sticky is 5 yards, stick route, and then go.
Yeah, and go, right? Come around, right?
Yeah,
so I knew it was, I felt like it was zone, and I got to, mind you, I got to guess this one after my first 2 steps.
Is this is this, who's this on? Is this on linebacker?
Yeah, this is on linebacker, but it felt like cover 4. If I can look at it, it felt like he was going to try to push
split.
But it was like 2 safeties, so it's hard to determine because we're in the red zone, right? It's hard.
Less space.
It's hard to determine. But me, I don't even. That's the beauty of not playing either. I don't overthink nothing. I just go play.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? Because when you got this football high IQ, you come down, you can overthink it's still football.
Yeah.
It's green grass or it ain't.
Yeah.
Just play. You know what I'm saying? That was my philosophy. Once I ran up on him, I realized he stayed inside. He didn't push, right? So I'm thinking like, well, the corner didn't look like he was squatting. So that's why I kind of trying to figure out what was cover 6, it was 4, it was 2. You know what? Let me just get back around here. I feel like it's some type of zone, right? Which I felt like it was cover 4 because he drove it. The safety drove it so hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I end up just trying to loop around and get around the linebacker with the idea of if it's 4, let me give him a little something because he's going to have to go. He's trying to get underneath me. Yeah. He's going to have to go if it's 4.
Great space.
Yeah. Yep. And if it's 2, quick. So basically my idea is that if it's 2, I can still just come on and come around him.
But you got to come
4,
flatter.
I got to come flatter. Yeah. If it's 4, I got to still come flat. Then I'm the safeties guy. Yeah. Once I get a straight
now
release.
Beat him.
Now I got to beat him. Right? So the backer is not really the concern. It was more so the safety. I've always used that formula anyway. I ain't got time to worry about the first dude. Where's his help? Yeah. Right? So I'm
that
like,
dictates where you're going to go.
Yeah. So I just kind of gave him a little something. I felt like he wasn't really moving. So I said, there's no point in me wide and wide. He ain't coming. Yeah. Right? So I just came
like
all
a triangle. Around. That's usually what they do. They triangle.
Yeah. 3 for 2.
3 for 2.
Yeah.
Triangle you.
That's what it might have been. So, and I've seen enough of those coverages to know.
Or box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
Especially
got that a lot with like Danny, when Danny was on our team. So I got that a lot. Obviously, Darren Sproles. Yeah. We'd get him in the slot formation as a backer, linebacker, safety, whatever. So we know it's 3
formation
for 2.
Indicator.
I go over here, the backer got me. I go vertical, the safety got me. I always try to figure out where the help was at. I never thought about the actual guy who's covering me. In my mind, and to me, I was going to beat him. Yeah. Where's his help? Yeah. That determines his leverage. That's going to determine how he's shading, how he's moving. And I felt like he didn't really move. There wasn't no point in me getting wide.
And you had to get open on him for you to get the ball.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that's what the quarterback's seeing.
Yeah.
Walk us through the pass, beat by beat.
Well, we got to start by the full season. I think we practiced it a couple, maybe 3 times, whether it be in a walkthrough.
I thought we put it in like week 2.
We put it in week 2. We actually ran it against. We had it called with an alert versus
you
KC.
To have the zone, right?
Yeah, versus Kansas City on that Monday night game, and they gave us a man look, so we had to check out of it and run a slant backside with JoJo LaFell, who took it to the house actually. But because they gave us a man look, we couldn't run it. So it got called off, and then we didn't see it again until I think we ran it in a walkthrough, and we missed it in the walkthrough.
In the walkthrough, missed it the night before the game.
Yeah. So the coaches are freaking out. They're like,
we're going to scrap it. I'm like, we're good.
These slappies can't complete a pass. And then they called it in the game, and we got the right look. And then end up working out, man.
Remember this ball?
Let me see. I remember the way it feels. Oh yeah, that's nice. It's a little wobbly though. Was it a complete spiral or
no?
It was a little.
I just wanted to get out there.
Little wobbly.
I thought I overthrew him.
Nah, but
like Dola ain't gonna get this. He ain't got that speed, man. Hey, little joker run, catches it, little high step into the end zone,
tracked it down. That was the loudest I've ever heard Foxborough.
Well, we were down 14 points twice in that game. That was the second time.
Yeah, that tied it up at 28.
I tied it up at 28. They went up 14-0. Then we went to 14-14. Then they went up 28-14.
Yeah.
You remember the lead up to this, Josh?
No, I don't.
Yeah, Josh just came up to me in the drive before. He goes, I don't need to give you any lead time for the double pass, do I? I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Sitting there shitting my pants. Like, oh, fuck, we're going to throw this thing out there?
Yeah.
Thinking about the walkthrough the night before.
Yeah. What were you thinking when you let that ball fly?
I thought I overthrew you.
No, I was good. I was jogging too, bud.
I don't know.
Right in stride. Didn't even have to turn the jets on.
And we had practiced the play is called X Clown. We practiced that play so many times, and me and Jay could not get on the same page.
Yeah.
Right? I run it this way, he throw it that way. He throw it this way, I wouldn't run it that way, and it just seemed like it was not gonna work. And then when they called it a game, it worked.
Twice. You guys hit it twice. Now,
Right.
The X Clown, so there's verbiage probably for the protection and there's something else, or does that tell everyone what to do?
So this is where ball is. This is the part where some people don't like that I actually know ball. You know, they kind of think that I don't know ball. And people always talk about, especially with my stuff, they always talk about Steve he just talks. And the offense we were running that year was Dan Henning.
Yeah. What's that tree from?
That tree is from Charlie Weiss.
Charlie Weiss.
Which means we had, maybe if these words sound familiar to you, Ole Reed Circle.
Oh, yeah.
Max Deli XQ.
Yeah. Ole's the out with the flag.
Yes, sir.
Two-man concept. Two-man concept. So X-Clown's a backside telling the X what to do, but there was probably something in front telling the other guys what to do.
Yes. And then we had...
Was it like toga?
They call it 10.
10.
2 ends.
2 ends. We had 10.
Topper.
Two posts.
Yeah. So that was the offense. And, I had to learn how to play receiver in a way that I just really didn't know how to play receiver at that time. Going to Utah, I was actually in college, junior college. I was a Z originally.
Yeah.
But my wide receivers coach in college switched me to X because I'm right-handed, but I'm left-hand dominant. So I would be at Z with the ball in my left hand, and I was stiff arm my right.
Right.
Well, they come and just poke it out. So they moved me to X. And that's how I became an X.
Because of how you handled the ball?
Because of how I handled the ball.
Bro, I only carry the ball in my left arm because I was a 4-back. Everything left. I was the same way because I was in Pop Warner, I was the 4-back in a wishbone offense, and I always ran left. And so you always kept it on the outside. And so I would always, even to this day, that my most comfortable side was my left side holding the ball, which is very unorthodox for right-handed guys.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you turned into an X in college because your right hand, you're better with the ball in your left, so you give the stiffy. And in this point of your career, you were still kind of feeling on how to learn how to play receiver in this offense, that Charlie Weiss style offense. So is this clown route, is it like a bow post?
Yes, it's
so because you inside released and then you stemmed up and then you hit him with the outside with the couple and then you posted.
It was built off Q.
Yeah. Q is just a bow.
Yes. So it was built off the Q because I ran it so well.
Yeah.
Stem inside.
Get vertical.
Go to the corner.
Yeah.
So I'll stem inside and then I just went. But I ran that one and I leaned. But the reason I leaned
to make him think it was going a shitty bow.
Yes, but it was also the lean was to put my foot in the ground to
create
go.
The separation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, people don't realize you were primarily an X. Like people try to put you in like categories where you were no. Steve Smith was you're probably the most dominant X in my eyes of all time under 6 foot. Like you,
sure,
but you didn't play like you were. It was fucking amazing to me to watch you play when you could run by people. You could run the routes that I ran and I specialized in, but you could win on a go route. You could stack a guy and run away from a guy. And you were so dynamic with the ball and strong bottom legs. Like you never got down. It's fucking crazy that it all stemmed back to the coach in college that said, hey, you only hold it in your left. I think we got to put you at X.
It was a problem.
That's fucking crazy. Chemistry between you and Matthew Stafford. When did you feel that chemistry actually ignite and like you knew you were going to have this 10-catch game going into the week 2 where you're going to have the performance you have?
So rookie mini camp, we get drafted, we show up, and then there's like 2 weeks after that, the rookies got to stay after everybody else goes. And everybody's leaving, but except me and my roommate, Davis Allen. I was 177, he was 175, 2 picks in front of me. We're at the hotel together. We're both rookies, so we're staying, and everybody's going. We're like, oh, we're going to stay. And we get a text of like, yo, from one of our strength coaches, like, yo, Matthew wants you to come out and catch. For like, Higgs is going to be there. Our other wide receiver, Van Jefferson, is going to be there. And they were like, he wants you to come out. And be like, yo, for real? Like, out of all the guys on the team, like he asked me and like my roommate to come out and was like, yo, I got to run the best routes of my life. If I cannot drop a ball, like it's got to be as good it's got to be the best route run I've ever had in my life. And the first day, like you've thrown with him, like you see when like you're coming out of breaks and like the ball's in the perfect spot every time and be like, yo, if I keep my feet and like I as long as I can see the ball spinning for a second, I'm like, he is not missing. Like no, whether it's upfield, we're running an out route, puts on your front shoulder, you can turn, tap and turn and get on the side. Then you're running out a curl break. It's on your inside pass, so you can drop, step, and turn over your inside shoulder. And that was like, holy cow.
So you're basically telling me that you guys had instant chemistry.
I mean, low key, I felt like first year I was like,
honestly, I'm not even gonna second guess that because I went with him once to Golden West.
Yeah.
We threw together. I think we threw 45 balls. I think we went 45 for 45. We never even met each other. That's how elite his arm talent is. He like Puka was saying, the ball come right out there, right out that break is right on your forehead.
Literally.
Right up on your forehead. And he just over here slings it.
I favor the old guys too. Like, so I still think Davante Adams is still that guy. He's never been a 4-3 guy.
Yeah.
But his releases are remarkable.
Always.
Just the way he does his hands, ball placement, catch radius, body control, tempo.
Sudden burst, really good.
Sudden burst, and then his creativity to stack you, even though he's not faster than you. So just him being able to use his leverage. So like I look at that, but then there's other guys I think that are promising who have the ability.
Who's someone that you think that kind of reminds you of you, if there's anyone?
See, so people ask that, and
I know
and
it's hard to do that.
So the reason why
I just did it. It's bad.
I'm not judging you. The reason why I have a hard time answering that question is because I also remember that I was supposed to be a 5th-round draft pick. I was also told I was just a returner. So now that I'm done playing, everybody's like, oh, he reminds me of you. But when I was playing, people didn't like me.
Yeah.
And so you didn't like me. And then there's, we read our stuff on there and they're like, oh, people are like, oh, Steve was just a slot receiver. And I'm like, really, I was? Didn't know that. I think the game has changed, but I also think there are players out there who don't remind me of myself because I think they are significantly better. I played the way I played because I was obviously, I didn't have quick feet like Chad. Like I couldn't do great cone drills. I rounded my routes. I never ran the same route the same way. So there were things that I did that I used as my advantage, but I ran my routes kind of ADD. Like I was never consistent on doing things. I did it my way.
Yeah.
But I was really just kind of like covering for the fact that, man, no, I was just playing on hope and a prayer.
Yeah.
And so that's just kind of like, I know I was playing with house money, right? I know that. So just roll the dice and say, man, put all the chips in. So when I go across the middle and I know I'm going to get hit, you got a choice to get hit with the ball or without the ball. And so a few times, like, all right, I get hit with the ball, and then I get up, and I'm like, man, a guy used to hit me, and he'd be like, oh, what you want with that? And so I started getting up like, if you think you crazy, I'm crazier. And so it was more like to feed into, like, to intimidate and show that, bro, I'm going to be here all day.
Your best didn't hurt me.
No.
Man, there's just so much you can do better. So many things, so many details that you can press yourself on, and like, what kind of tools can you add to your tool belt as counters to what worked? Like what worked? How are people going to stop it? How do I counter that?
Yeah, and you're in the point of your career where you could watch film and you can go practice off a specific look of how it may not have went your way, and you could put that and play that game in your mind, and you're probably at the point where you're running routes.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
you're running routes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean.
You get better playing football.
Yep, exactly. I mean, I think there's a few different steps that you're like the visualization side of things of where you're like, I know my wife knows that I'm laying in bed and suddenly I'll just be like, pow, flinch out. I was like, okay, what were you doing there? Like, what was happening? Like, yeah, I got to take. I was running this route. The safety was driving down. Like it's real. It's like you get to this point where you're visualizing things to the point where your body is like reacting to it, and you're going. And you take the next step, and now we're OTAs, we're running routes on air, and we don't run routes on air just to run routes on air. Like there's an intent behind what you're doing. You're seeing, hey, this is how this DB is playing us. Let's run this route. And talk to Matthew, like, hey, this 3 carry. It's a tight carry outside. Like, how do we want to run this route on this one? What angles are we coming out at? So now you're running routes on air and you're visualizing these things. So now when it does come time that you're competing, you've seen that. You've seen it. You've visualized it. You've felt all those steps that you're going to take. You've seen how he's going to play and react to each move you're going to do. At that point, once you're playing the game, it's like, man, I've taken this rep over and over and over again already.
We used to call that deja vu. You practice so much, once you do in the game, it's like deja vu.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's a great feeling too.
It is. You know, what people don't realize, the amount of reps you put into a play for it to work, because there's like 20 different looks you can have. And when you practice it and you rep it over and over with a intent, like Cooper said, and you use those reps, once you get to game day, it's in your subconscious.
Yep.
So once you can react faster and you get to use your athleticism more.
Exactly.
Because once you know what's coming, then that's when techniques and your superpowers get to come out.
Exactly. When your mind's on, your body's off a lot of the time, right? When you can get to the point where your mind's seen it so much that's now subconscious. Sean McVay calls it unconscious competence, right?
Unconscious competence.
Unconscious competence.
I bet you he's got some sayings. What other sayings does he have? He's got some fucking sayings. I know
He's
he's all riled up all day.
You gotta let him come natural. I can't just start pulling him out of thin air.
Yeah, we got to just keep it in the back. So we had this rep right here. Keep that in your subconscious. If something comes along in this next part of the interview,
I'll flag it.
Flag it.
Yep.
Cooper, did you say that you like would wake up like dreaming about reps?
Oh yeah, no, this isn't just about dreaming. This is like full on like I'm awake, laying in bed, and I'm just visualizing. Like it's playing so clearly in my head what's happening that my body's reacting to what's happening in those moments, and it's honestly become a problem to the point where it's like, gosh, if we're like, my wife's like laying on me and I'm daydreaming or something like that, like she can get like boom, I move and she like her head's popping up off my shoulder. It's a problem. So we've had to figure out how to balance those things a little bit so that we're not hurting each other.
I was gonna say illegal hands to the face.
Illegal hands to the face right there.